Did Lewis Hamilton make a mistake by joining Ferrari? Or did he just make the best move of his life? Many believe that leaving Mercedes was an unnecessary risk, but Hamilton is crystal clear. His decision was not only the right one but the best of his entire career. Before I tell you why, tell me in the comments, do you think Hamilton will win a title with Ferrari? Because this could change the history of F1. Lewis Hamilton has described his arrival at Ferrari as a leap of faith, but it was not an impulsive decision or based on sentimentality. For him, staying at Mercedes meant staying in an environment that, although comfortable and familiar, no longer offered him the certainty of continuing to win. His choice was calculated and supported by technical, strategic and personal factors that led him to believe that Ferrari was the best option. Hamilton understands that success in Formula One does not only depend on the talent of the driver, but on the evolution of the team. In his own words, standing still can be more dangerous than risking change, and in this case, Ferrari represented the perfect opportunity for a new challenge. With a clear vision of where the sport is heading and how teams must adapt to changes in regulation, Hamilton saw in the Scuderia a structure in full transformation, with a renewed philosophy and a more aggressive technical approach that convinced him that it could once again be competitive at the highest level. The changes at Ferrari in recent years have been profound. The team management has opted for a complete redesign of the car, optimizing the aerodynamics and performance of the power unit to close the gap with Red Bull and Mercedes. For Hamilton, this is not only a sign of commitment, but a sign that Ferrari is ready to abandon its image as an irregular team and become a solid contender for the championship again. In contrast to his predecessor at the Scuderia, who found himself with a team in a process of reconstruction, Hamilton arrives at the exact moment when Ferrari is reaping the fruits of that transition. The organizational structure has changed, and the team now works with a more flexible and efficient mindset. Whereas in previous years Ferrari made conservative decisions and often reacted late to problems, the new management has implemented more dynamic strategies, prioritizing communication between drivers and engineers. Hamilton's experience at Mercedes has allowed him to develop a unique ability to interpret data and collaborate in the development of the car. His arrival at Ferrari not only means that he will have a competitive car, but he will also bring his knowledge to optimize it. His ability to work with engineers and perfect setups is one of his greatest strengths, something that could make the difference in a Scuderia that has historically had problems evolving its car over the course of a season. Beyond the technical, Hamilton has also spoken of the importance of instinct in his decision. As he has revealed in interviews, he felt that the time for change had come and that Ferrari offered him not only a new challenge, but the chance to write a unique story in Formula One. Moving from Mercedes to Ferrari is not a simple change of team, but a long-term bet in which he seeks to leave an even greater legacy than he already has. Hamilton is not at Ferrari just to compete, but to win. The conviction with which he has defended his decision shows that he is completely sure that the Italian team will provide him with the necessary tools to fight for his long-awaited 8th title. His arrival represents more than the signing of an elite driver. He is the key piece that could define a new era in Ferrari's history. Ferrari has gone through multiple transformations in recent years, but Hamilton's arrival comes at a key turning point for the Scuderia. It is not simply the signing of an experienced driver, but confirmation that the team has put the mistakes of the past behind it and adopted a completely new strategy to return to the top of Formula One. Unlike his predecessor at the team, who had to deal with an inconsistent car and an internal structure with obvious limitations, Hamilton joins a Ferrari that has worked intensively to close the gap with Red Bull and Mercedes. The team has modernized its technical approach, optimized its decision-making and consolidated a new working culture that allows for better integration between drivers and engineers. One of the most important changes has been the transformation in the way Ferrari develops and evolves its car throughout the season. In the past, the Scuderia had inconsistent performances, with a competitive start fading due to a lack of effective improvements over the course of the year. This has changed dramatically under the team's new management, which has implemented a more agile system for car updates and improved communication between key departments such as aerodynamics, power unit and track strategy. Frédéric Vasseur's leadership has been instrumental in this new phase for Ferrari. Unlike previous administrations where decisions were more rigid and there was a culture of internal blame, Vasseur has managed to consolidate a more flexible and efficient structure. The dynamics within the team have changed, moving from a hierarchical model to one in which quick, data-driven decision-making is prioritized, which is crucial to staying competitive in modern Formula One. Another key point has been the evolution of the power unit. Ferrari has invested in developing a more reliable and better-performing power unit, correcting issues that in previous years affected the car's reliability at crucial moments of the season. This advance gives Hamilton confidence that he will have a competitive tool from day one, eliminating the concerns that his predecessor faced in the past. Work on the car's aerodynamics has also been one of the team's priorities. In recent seasons, Ferrari showed glimpses of competitiveness in qualifying, but its race performance was affected by tire wear problems and a lack of stability on long runs. The new design philosophy seeks to correct these drawbacks, allowing for a more balanced car capable of maintaining performance throughout the race. Hamilton's arrival at this renewed Ferrari is not just a change of driver, but a statement of intent from the team. His experience at Mercedes will allow him to bring in valuable knowledge in optimizing the car, helping Ferrari translate its potential into consistent results. Unlike in the past, where the Scuderia always seemed to be one step behind in car development, they now have a structure designed to compete at the highest level throughout the season. This change in mentality and technical approach is what convinced Hamilton that Ferrari was the right place for his next challenge. It is not just about the brand's history and prestige, but about a serious project with real ambition to fight for championships. With clear direction, a constantly evolving car and a team willing to learn from its mistakes, Ferrari is at its best in years to fight for glory again. Lewis Hamilton not only made a momentous decision in his career by joining Ferrari, but also made a series of sacrifices that demonstrate his absolute commitment to the project. His arrival at the Scuderia was not the result of a conventional negotiation, but of a personal bet in which he put aside factors that, in other circumstances, could have kept him at Mercedes. One of the most significant aspects of this change was the renunciation of the stability he had at Mercedes. For more than a decade, Hamilton built his legacy at a team that gave him the tools to become one of the most successful drivers in history. He had a familiar working environment, engineers with whom he had a consolidated relationship and a methodology that he understood perfectly. However, instead of opting for continuity, he decided to break with that security and enter a completely new project, in which he had to adapt to a team with a different work culture and with a car that has not proven to be the best on the grid so far. Financial sacrifice was also a key factor in this transition. Hamilton used a termination clause in his contract with Mercedes to be able to close his signing with Ferrari, which involved a restructuring of his salary conditions. Although Ferrari is a team with great financial backing, Hamilton had to accept a reduction in income compared to what he earned at Mercedes, which reinforces the idea that his decision was not motivated by the financial aspect, but by the opportunity to face a new challenge. The way he communicated his decision also made clear the emotional significance of this change in his life. Hamilton reportedly revealed his departure from Mercedes to his teammates during a paintball session, an unconventional context for such a big news story. This anecdote reflects the strong bond he had with his team and how difficult it was for him to close that stage. Spending more than 20 years linked to Mercedes, from his training in karting to his world titles, made this decision one of the most complex of his career. Beyond the contractual and economic aspects, Hamilton's real sacrifice lies in the uncertainty of what is to come. At Mercedes, despite recent difficulties, he had a team that had proven capable of reacting and returning to the path of success. At Ferrari, on the other hand, recent history has been marked by ups and downs, erratic strategies and moments in which the team failed to live up to its own potential. Hamilton is aware of this and yet decided to take the step, confident that Ferrari's current structure has the potential to offer him a car capable of competing for the championship. There is also a symbolic factor in this change. Hamilton is not just looking to win one more title, but he wants to do it with Ferrari, the most iconic team in the history of Formula One. He knows that if he manages to take Ferrari back to the top, his legacy will reach an even greater dimension. Winning with Mercedes made him a legendary driver, but doing so with Ferrari would immortalize him in the history of motorsport. The signs of this commitment were also seen in his presentation with the team. The image of Hamilton next to Ferrari's headquarters, with details such as the 7 windows of the building in reference to his world titles and the red door symbolizing the challenge ahead, made it clear that this change is not just a professional move, but a personal mission. His story with Ferrari is just beginning, but from the moment he signed his contract, Hamilton has made it clear that he is willing to make all the sacrifices necessary to make this stage of his career a success. His determination, combined with the Scuderia's efforts to provide him with a competitive car, could mark the beginning of a new era in Formula One. The big question after Lewis Hamilton's arrival at Ferrari is not his ability as a driver, but whether the Scuderia will be able to offer him a car capable of fighting for the title. Ferrari has proven to be a team with enormous potential, but in recent years it has faced challenges that have prevented that talent from translating into consistent results. Now, with a renewed structure, considerable investment in development and a technical direction more focused on the evolution of the car, the question is whether all this will be enough to give Hamilton a car worthy of a champion. One of the key aspects in this equation is the evolution of the engine. Ferrari has worked intensively on improving its power unit, correcting reliability issues that in previous seasons limited its performance in the latter stages of the championship. With the current engines frozen in terms of power development until 2026, the focus has been on optimizing energy efficiency and component wear, ensuring that the car can maintain high performance throughout the season without penalties for engine changes. Aerodynamics has been another of the team's priorities. In recent years, Ferrari has had a car that performed well in qualifying, but struggled to maintain a consistent pace in the race. Tire management has been one of the weak points, with faster wear compared to its main rivals. Aware of this situation, the Scuderia has worked on solutions that allow for greater stability on long runs, ensuring that the car can be competitive not only on fast laps, but also in the strategic management of each Grand Prix. The strategic factor has historically been one of Ferrari's great weaknesses. Erratic decisions at key moments have cost wins and even championship chances. Hamilton's arrival could be a turning point in this regard. His experience and ability to interpret the race in real time will allow him to bring a more precise approach to strategic decision-making. In addition, Ferrari has been strengthening its engineering team in this area, seeking a more efficient execution of strategies on track to avoid errors that have cost them important points in the past. The comparison with Red Bull and Mercedes is inevitable. Red Bull has dominated in recent seasons with a highly efficient aerodynamic package and a technical team that has been able to interpret the regulations in a way that is superior to its rivals. Mercedes, although it has struggled in recent years, has proven to be a team capable of adapting quickly and getting back into the fight. Ferrari, for its part, has shown flashes of competitiveness, but without the consistency necessary to constantly challenge its main opponents. For Hamilton to have a car capable of fighting for the title, Ferrari will not only have to develop a fast car, but also ensure that it can evolve throughout the season, keeping up with the pace of improvements imposed by the benchmark teams. The new 2026 regulations also play a fundamental role in the future of the team. Although Hamilton comes to Ferrari with the intention of being competitive from his first season, the real long-term challenge will be adapting to the technical changes that will come into force on that date. These changes could represent an opportunity for Ferrari to match or even surpass its rivals, provided it manages to interpret the new rules efficiently. Hamilton's arrival is not only a boost in terms of driving talent, but also in the development of the car. His ability to work with the engineers and provide accurate information on the behavior of the car has been one of the keys to his success at Mercedes. Ferrari now has the opportunity to use this knowledge to perfect its technical package and turn it into a competitive tool to fight for championships. Ferrari is at a turning point. It has proven to have the resources and talent necessary to build a championship car, but the challenge will be to transform that potential into concrete results. Hamilton is confident that the Scuderia is ready to take that step, and his presence in the team could be the element that makes the difference in the search for glory. Lewis Hamilton has made one of the most momentous decisions of his career by leaving the stables of Mercedes to join Ferrari. This is not just a change of team, but a calculated gamble on a project that promises to bring the Scuderia back into the championship fight. His arrival is not the product of nostalgia or a simple personal challenge, but of a thorough assessment of Ferrari's potential and the opportunity to write a historic chapter in Formula One. Throughout his career, Hamilton has shown that he is not afraid of challenges. From his early years at McLaren, where he challenged established champions, to his dominance with Mercedes, he has known how to take advantage of every opportunity to establish himself as one of the best drivers in history. Now he faces a different challenge, to be the key piece that propels Ferrari back to the top. The Italian team has made significant structural changes, modernized its technical approach and invested in constant development to ensure a competitive car. The big question is whether these efforts will be enough to allow Hamilton to fight for his long-awaited 8th title. Ferrari's history in Formula One is full of moments of glory, but also long periods of frustration. Hamilton believes that this new stage could mark the beginning of a different era, one in which the Scuderia is not only competitive, but once again dominates the category. Beyond the performance on the track, his arrival at Ferrari represents something deeper. It is the meeting between a driver who has broken records and a team that seeks to recover its legacy. If he manages to take Ferrari back to the top, his name will be immortalized as the man who defied history and transformed the destiny of the most iconic team in motorsport. The road will not be easy. Red Bull remains the rival to beat, Mercedes has the ability to recover and the competition in Formula One has never been so demanding. But Hamilton did not join Ferrari to be another contender, but to fight to the end and prove that his decision was the right one. The upcoming season will be key to defining the future of this project. Each race will be a test to measure how far Ferrari can go and how quickly it can close the gap with its rivals. If the team manages to deliver a car capable of competing on equal terms, history could change completely. Hamilton has made it clear that there is no doubt in his mind, Ferrari was the best possible choice. Now the question is whether he can turn that belief into titles. Will this be the decision that sees him make history once again? Sound off in the comments and join the debate. And if you want more analysis on Formula One and the impact of this move, subscribe to the channel, because what's coming next season could define a new era in motorsport.